Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. So, I noticed in some of my readings lately that they actually had X energy. And, I'm not the type of reader that's like, your ex is coming back. Like, oh my God, like, they're going to get their shit together. And, oh, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know I'm not that guy. So, like, for that to come up, I'm just kind of like, what's going on? And then I realized that Mercury retrograde's coming up in like another week. I'm not a astrologer, but I'm trying to learn a little more, and I believe it was May 29th. Some of the astrology um, people I follow have been talking about it. Yeah, I believe it was next week. So I think we're in the pre-shadow, whatever it's called. I may be slaughtering that name. So you may be seeing some effects early, but anyway, this is tarot, not astrology. I just wanted to bring up that I've seen X energy a lot in readings, so I'm like, okay, maybe your X is possibly coming back. So I want to do a reading for people who that may happen for. So the questions I'm going to ask, and I'm going to be doing this one sign by sign. Sometimes I do it by element, but this one I'm going to go through all the signs in. And so the questions I'm going to ask is, why do you miss them? Or why are you having trouble letting them go? And then I want to do a reminder for you because sometimes the nostalgia hits really hard whenever you've been separated for a while, and some people only remember the negative, some people only remember the positive. But I'm like, I'm kind of a believer in the X is an X for a reason, so I want to do a reminder of why you broke up, just in case you're a little nostalgic and forgetting the negative treatment that you went through, or the reason why you just didn't really get together. You weren't really meshing well. And then we're going to get advice in case they come back, because I don't know. Like, I think there's been relationships where it's like they come back together and ends up working because they grew as people. But so I won't say that it can't happen, but at the same time, most of the time you get back together with your ex, nothing changed, and then you just end up breaking up all over again. I've seen that happen more than the growth. So anyway, now that we're 3 minutes in, the first sign I'm going to do is Aries. So if you watch the intro, thank you, but we're going to get to Aries first. And before you change, if you're still here, I forgot to say these these ratings I like to pull are for the placements that they can apply for are Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Mars, or Venus. Like any of those personal planets, I've had readers where I resonate more for like the Mercury or the Mars more than like my Sun or Moon or the Rising. So if one doesn't resonate, feel free to check out another one. And if none of them resonate, maybe this reading just wasn't for you. Maybe I'll get your energy next time. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start with Aries. Okay, Aries, so I have cards for the why do you miss them having trouble, or why are you having trouble letting them go? So you got the Ten of Cups going into a Four of Coins, going into the Nine of Pentacles, going into a Four of Cups. So you could be dealing with a Taurus. Doesn't have to be, but I like to announce like the some of the signs that I see in the cards. So basically, what I'm saying is like I just keep hearing I thought we had something special. So you're very confused on what went wrong. Like I don't think you really had closure in this situation. That's why you're having so much trouble, because like one moment like everything's fine and dandy, everything's just amazing, like we're getting along great, like building this solid foundation, like maybe moving a little slow, but still just of course slow for Aries is like boom. But yeah, so you just really don't understand, because like you really valued the relationship, you really valued the time and investment, and you thought that you were being valued as well. So it's just kind of confusing why this happened and why you're left alone, and you're still unable to really accept anything else just because you're still really caught up on the past here. Like, you're unable to really accept anything else because it's almost like a fear of repeating this. Like, I'm just gonna get happy again to get I can't talk. Blindsided again, just like I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, they can't talk to me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. So as far as that, why you broke up, I don't know if I was gonna do like a whole like trying to remind you of how you felt type of thing, but I may just go for getting you closure for this one, just because of how this one's going. I may do both. I may do both. Yeah, I feel like both's gonna be needed. So I'm gonna do one for like how you felt, reminder, because maybe you weren't all the way in and you're just reminiscing this a little better or a little more than you were back in the day. What am I trying to say? I'm tripping on my words being in this space. It's like you really treasure it now that it's gone, basically, but did you back then? Like, is it just because it's out of reach that you are really thinking of it in this term, basically, that you're like, we were so happy, but were you? Were you happy? Were they happy? Let's figure it out. Aries, you got, for how you felt, you got the Three of Swords, you got Judgment, so you could have been dealing with a Scorpio. You got the Eight of Wands, and you got the Fool. So this one you could have been dealing with Aquarius. Basically, what I'm seeing, and it doesn't have to be these signs, like I said, just reporting. So basically, I think you're forgetting about how much this person, this situation, it was constantly hurting you. But there was like this fuel, like it's like there was this battle between who was right, who was wrong all the time when really there was no in between. Like, can we just work things out? Can we just, why are we so focused on what's right, what's wrong? Like, can we not see that we're hurting each other? Or can you not see you're hurting me? Can we not validate that? Instead of being like, it's like they twisted logic and just made whatever they thought was right, right, and you wrong. It's like you're always wrong. You're always wrong. You're always wrong, no matter what. And you don't feel like you're wrong, but maybe you're not as good with words as this person was. And I think part of that is because you got this Fool, and you're just like, you're trying to enjoy. You just want to enjoy. You don't even want to fight. So you're kind of neglecting to see all the negative things that you could have weaponized, that you could have used. Not that you should, not that you should weaponize, but it's just like being petty. You know, the things that you could have brought up in this conversation, and it's just like you're kind of ignoring it and just being like, I just want to enjoy things. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired. I just want to have fun. Like, I just want to enjoy things. Like, why are you being a problem? You know, like, can we not just enjoy things? Like, you saw this as, it's like this farm should be productive, should have plenty of things, but it's gone dry. And it's like, it shouldn't be dry. We should be like blooming. Like, it's like you can see something, you fell in love with potential. Okay, that's where I'm going. You fell in love with potential, but like the land was dry. Like, the land should have produced plenty, but it was dry. It was infertile. Like, this situation just did not get up off the ground, but it's like you kept going for that vision. So anyway, let's get into how they felt, or whenever the breakup. Getting you closure, that's what I'm trying to say, my bad. Tripping on words. So we got the King of Pentacles, we got the Nine of Swords, we got the King of Cups, we got the Nine of Wands, and we got the Four of Wands reversed. So usually I don't take reversals, but I kind of feel like, yeah, maybe. In this case, just how it looks. You can flip it up, right? It doesn't matter. My message is my message. Anyway, talking to myself. So, could be dealing with a Pisces, or Virgo. It doesn't have to be, again, but basically I see this person that can be very kind, reliable, very sympathetic, and just like very sweet and like there for you, can have your back, but to be consistent in that regard, like it's all like this kind of spells like commitment issues. To be consistent in that regard gives them anxiety, and they're just like, it's like they can't really breathe unless they're alone, and then they're like, okay, but they don't like being alone, but they don't like commitment either. I don't know. It's this weird energy of like anxiety of like wanting to do the sweet things, but not wanting to be consistent with it for some reason. And it's just like that. It's like they can hold up part of the romance part, because it's like there's supposed to be four pillars. I'm seeing like one of the versions of it. I don't know if it's the original or just on one of my cards, but it's supposed to be four pillars holding up like a little party thing. It's not the most stable structure, but it's like a little like glimpse into stability, basically. And like even that little glimpse makes them too nervous, because it's like, okay, but even it's like they need the complete stability even just to commit, but they can't commit to building it because this is a building block, you know? So that's basically what I'm getting on that. It's like they'll drop the work because it's too much, but then they want to come back and put in a little bit, and it's inconsistent. But I think the love that they did give you was genuine, if that is any help at all, if that gives you any type of closure. I think these are all trauma and issues on their end. Now, you did seem to be kind of a visionary of sorts, where you needed to ground your visions and be in reality for these type of moments, and not just fall in love with your manifestation of what they should be, if that makes sense. It's just like, no, you need to see them where they are, where they're at, and how they're treating you now, not the potential. So anyway, I feel like I just spewed a bunch of advice, but we're going to draw actual advice cards. I always do too, but I feel like it's all I need, because the Queen of Wands is an Aries card. And then we got the Three of Cups. Focus on you. Celebrate you. Do the things that you want to do. Do things for you. I've done some personal readings for Aries, and contrary to belief, like a lot of Aries are just like, what do I do now? Like, we were going to do this. We were going to do this. They're really stuck in that we mode. They wanted to do things with their partner, for their partner. They have trouble getting out of that. They're just like, well, what did my person want to do? Like, what were we going to do together? And it's like, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Let's focus on you. Let's focus on you. Let's have some fun. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to have fun. So just focus on you for now. Have some fun. That's the advice for here. If they want to come back. Oh, this was supposed to be if they want to come back. I think I just did advice in general, but okay, if they come back, I think that's pretty obvious. Do you really want to deal with this? Because remembering, like I brought up, how much of a burden this was, how much work has to go into this. Is it truly worth it to you? Because it is exhausting. It's a lot to carry. It's a lot to carry for you. So if they come back, is it truly worth it to you? That's something you need to consider, because if you're not already focusing on yourself, I think you would have fun focusing on yourself. Just doing the things that you want to do, and all the things that you wish someone would do for you, do them for you. Show that self-love, Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. We're going to go ahead and get into Taurus. Okay, Taurus, we're getting into why do you miss your ex, or why you're having trouble letting him go. So we got this, we got the Three of Coins, we got the Nine of Wands, and we got the Two of Cups. we got the Two of Wands, and then we get the Three of Cups. So basically what I'm getting is like, I just feel like you're the type of person that doesn't really, this is typical Taurus, but like, you don't make plans. You don't commit to something. You don't make plans unless you know you're going to commit to it. You have that follow through. So you may be very hesitant to it at first, but it's also the source of like, when others wouldn't, this person would. Like you saw them as very reliable and steady, very nurturing, and it's just like other people may be there for you, but not always have your back. But this person was always somewhat of a like comforting source to you. But now it's different not being with them. I'm hearing empty. Just life just isn't the same really, and it's kind of sad because like you really celebrated this relationship. And I'm hearing this may have just been brought into your life to show you like the type of relationships you should have. Like you should have friendships that support you in this way. So it's not a bad thing that you really have this, and I know you miss it. But I keep really looking at this like I don't make agreements and plans very often, and I don't like breaking them. So we need to get back to it. We need to get back to the plan. I really see you just really being stubborn just because, like you said, you were going to do something, now you need to do it. That may be something you just need to let go of. So, but anyway, we haven't got to the why did you break up. Trying to remember that energy just in case you're being a little nostalgic and then getting into the advice for it. Interesting combo. So you got the Page of Wands reverse, you got the Eight of Wands reverse, you got the Four of Wands reverse, you got the Fool, and you got the Tower. So basically there could be fire energy, Aries, Scorpio, or Aquarius energy here. Doesn't have to be, but what I just see is like you guys lost that spark and you didn't try to get it back. There was not, it's like that phrase where it's like the grass is greener on the other side, but the grass is greener where you wet it, basically, where you take care of it. But it's like you lost the spark and then you didn't take care of it, basically. You or the other person, or maybe both of you, like however this happens, like the energy just kind of fizzled out, and it's like you guys lost that romance, you lost the spark, you lost that passion for each other, and it just kind of became more of a agreement. I looked back up here. It was more of the plan more than anything else. So with the Fool in the Tower, I'm guessing it's that the other person's energy more than yours since you wanted to stick to the plan. But it could be yours. I just see this being like someone wanted a fresh start. Someone wanted like sparks again. They wanted to feel this stuff again that this relationship was lacking. And instead of watering the grass, putting into here, they went somewhere else and they kind of just let this relationship end, cut it out. That's basically what happened. So we're going to get advice in case they come back, but I'm just like, I'd say no to them just based off of what I read right here. Like they'll get bored and leave again. But that's in my head. But anyway, but I'm gonna actually draw cards and do advice. We'll be fair. So we have Libra, water signs, and then specifically Pisces on this bottom row. Again, doesn't have to be, just reporting. So specifically in these two, because I clarified the Five of Wands with Justice, I think you're going to get pissed off if they come back. You're just going to be like, so I'll show all the cards, by the way. The Moon, Nine of Coins, Five of Swords, and the Page of Cups. So it's like they come in with this message, and you just, it's like your emotions are all over the place, right? And they have been. But it's just kind of like, oh, so that's how you're going to do me. That's how you're going to do me. You're just going to leave and then think you can come back? Like all that, you've been suppressing the anger, at least some of it. Like I think they'll set you off. Actually, see them come back would set you off. At least the remainder of it, because of this whole plan thing. Like what happened to the plan, and you may not have acknowledged some of this anger that's in you, but it would set you off. Oh, you think you can just come back after just abandoning me after abandoning the plan? You got bored? Like, what? Like, you think you can just come back now that I'm doing good, now that I have things for myself, now that I'm okay? You think your ass can just come back? And there's just a lot of, okay, remember how they did you. This is what I'm hearing with that card. Just remember how they did you. Remember how they left you drowning and they just walked away. Remember and it's just like how they just got to the point where I don't know why I'm here. It's like they didn't even care while you were just a hot mess. And it's just like, oh, no. Do you want that? Doesn't sound like you do. Okay. Well, hopefully this helped you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get into Gemini. Hey, Gemini. So basically what I see in this situation is that this person really helps you whenever you are in a tough time. They helped you through a tough time. That's what I'm trying to say. They helped you find the strength to get through it. Like they helped you find the energy to pick yourself back up whenever you really didn't have the energy. So it's just kind of like, even though you're burdening yourself thinking about them, wanting to know how they are and all that, I think the thing that's really on your mind that's really hurting you is just like, when I saw these three popped out together, the Ten of Cups, Hierophant, and the Nine of Cups. When I see these three together, I just heard in my head, how did they actually feel? Was it real? Right? Was it this emotional fulfillment that they said? Was this actually something? Was I special to them? Or was it just words? Were they just saying it? Was it just an act? Was it just because they're on a search for their love, so they're just like trying to find the piece that fits, basically? Like, are they just saying things until it's actually right? You know, that fake it till they make it, but like with relationships, type of energy. So in this first line, we do have Leo, and Taurus and Scorpio. You could have been dealing with any of those. Doesn't have to be, or you could have them in your chart. Anyway, so now we're going to get to the why did you break up? Like, remembering what energy you guys were in whenever you broke up, because maybe you're just looking at the past in rose-colored glasses. Honestly, I think I'm going to look into this, though. Like, how did they actually feel? We're going to have to use a different deck. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I want to clarify these three first. And I think in a way, this also went to why did you guys break up, basically. So they did feel the same way. Like, I'm assuming that you really cared about them, that you wanted this Ten of Cups with them, this emotional fulfillment. It's an agreement here. It's an agreement. Like, they had a lot of strong feelings about you too. They wanted you to be there for them. I don't know why that's what, but wanted you to be there for them. Because I was getting kind of codependent things with the devil, but then also the devil with this judgment card. It's like a lot of your arguments ended up being like, who was right? Who was right, though? Who was right? Like, who can justify this the best, basically? Instead of, in a way, it's kind of like, let's take emotions off the table, because fuck emotions. They don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how you felt. Like, let's talk about who was right, though. Like, it kind of seems like that's how your conversations went. That's how your debates went. Like, let's not talk about how you feel. Let's talk about, or how this upset you. Let's talk about who was right. Because like, and to a point, I would say, like, there's a point where, like emotions can blind you, and you can kind of be, how do I say this? Right. Like, you can kind of like make up things in your head, exaggerate the situation. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're too into your emotions and not balanced enough and logical, but if you're only logical, then you're just you're invalidating someone's experiences also, if that makes sense. So, oh, by the way, Scorpio and Capricorn are here. You could have been dealing with that as well. So it's just kind of like, yeah, they did. They did feel about you, but you're arguing, you're debating, the way you two fought was very unproductive, and it just kind of ended up unraveling because there was just this focus of like good and bad, and not really seeing the in between, not really seeing solutions, not really coming together and working. It was who was right type of thing, cut and dry, like no middle ground, no room for like let's communicate. No, it's who's right in this situation. So let's get into the advice in case they come back. Leave it to immutable signs that confuse me in the advice, right? And I have a Gemini rising, so I'm not talking shit about you guys at all. I do have mutable placements, but I'm just saying, like, the advice was so back and forth. I'm like, okay, why are we back and forth? And so I had to draw some cards to get it. So basically, we got the Five of Cups. Why did I say Five of Cups? Five of Coins. We got the Four of Wands. I'm getting tripped up. I don't know what suit this is. Nine of Swords. We got the Three of Cups. Didn't really get a good view of that. And then we got, for these two, I got two cards together for like what's with all this stuff. So we got the Eight of Cups and the Four of Swords. So basically what I'm seeing with this is like, I think if they came back, this is kind of your thought process. Like, you're remembering how, like, you were abandoned, like, you felt abandoned, you left it out in the cold. But then you want to celebrate, and, like, the foundation it's not going to be stable, but you may want to have fun while it lasts. But then it's just like, you're going to have anxiety that the same thing's going to happen again. And this card, I think this is just like, I keep hearing celebrating alone. Like, you may be celebrating more than this other person. You may be so thankful that they come back that you're just like, yes, I manifested you back. Like, I wanted you back. Like, and then they just be like, yeah, because I'm the best. Like, I know. Like, and nothing, it doesn't really seem like anything changes here. Like, you're still going to be like in this anxious mode. Like, maybe you both did want this, but there's still going to be these arguments that, like, nothing has changed. And I think that's why the cards that came out for, like, what's the deal with this situation with these two? It's release the situation, be at peace with where it is, you know, find ways to not think about it. Like, don't look at their social medias. If you're looking at their social media, try not to keep up to date with them. And just leave this behind. Let it be what it is, and just leave it behind. It's time to walk away, and walk away into a new day. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's your advice. I hope you enjoyed it because, like, I'm only 3 signs in, but for some reason you got 3 different decks. I don't know why I felt like pulling from 3 different decks, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We're going to go on to Cancer now, though. Okay, Cancer, so for the why do you miss your ex or having trouble letting them go, I don't even really think you missed them, to be honest. Like, we got the Five of Swords, we got the Three of Cups. This may be for a small few of you, but I just heard you walked out on me, so I don't know if that means, like, wedding day. Like, that popped out whenever I picked up this celebration card. Like, you just walked out on me, like, I don't know if they got scared of commitment. I don't know if you guys were planning something and then they walked away like they couldn't handle it. But you're angry that they walked away from you at a pivotal point, basically. It's just like, okay, so you're just gonna leave me drowning, but you're okay walking away. Like I just have to deal with all this, basically. And so you're really upset, and it's really, you're trying to move on, but it's really hurting you. And I think the thing is, you have some shit you want to say. You could have been dealing with a Gemini. I just see this as like, oh, I'm going to speak my truth now. This cold, brutal, honest, I don't give a fuck about your feelings truth. Just all logic, like, here's what it is. I'm going to tell you how stinky you are. You know what I mean? I don't know why that popped up, but I'm going to put out your dirty laundry. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get into the why did you break up. I think you know why, but well, maybe you don't know why they did you dirty, but I don't know. Let's get into that. So why did you break up? I feel like I was getting more into like your thing, but okay. So basically, I think it was an illusion. This togetherness you have was kind of an illusion. You kind of built it up more than it was. Basically, the plans for the future was kind of built up more than it was because this person was very charming, very convincing, maybe a little selfish and egocentric. I don't know why I'm getting the bad traits of the Knight of Wands, remembering all the bad ones, possibly a little narcissistic. Just really, whatever serves them, that's where they're going to go. So it's like they did what they wanted to get the best out of you, basically, but it's, I hate saying this, but what's popping up in my mind, if another opportunity catches their eye, they're gonna go for it. They're that type. They're a little. It seems like they're a little immature. Um, they're not really committal. They're more committed to themselves than anyone else. So, and they're just a little selfish. So it's like if they see something that seems better, they're gonna go for it. They don't care who they hurt, like, because as long as they're happy, that's what it is. It's basically what I'm getting from being in this energy. You could have been dealing with a Pisces, Leo, or this could be you as a Cancer, or you could have been dealing with another Cancer. But it's just kind of like for some reason, I see you drawing back a little bit. I don't think this Three of Swords was all the way at the end of it. Maybe they were a little negative to you or started hurting you, so you kind of withdrew into your shell a little bit. And then they were like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, like, I'm just going to go somewhere else instead of trying to fix the situation. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get advice in case they come back. Okay, so we have Gemini, Aquarius, and Scorpio on the bottom. So we got the Lovers reversed, we got the Two of Swords, we have the Star card, and we have the Death card. So basically what I'm getting is, if they came back, you would be very confused on how you felt, where you wanted to go with this, because part of you would be a little blinded by, like, did I manifest this? Are they actually back? Are they going to be good this time? Like, your heart would be fluttering a little bit, but then you'd be like, okay, well, it didn't work out last time. Remember how they treated you? Like, it would be a little bit of this back and forth of, like, this is really what I want, and then be like, no, no, no. Like, they already hurt you. You know this. Have they changed? I don't think they have. And the best advice is to let this go. Basically, is what I'm getting here. Let it go. Start a new day somewhere else, because I just see this person as not changing. Not changing. Like, that night is a night. You know what I mean? They're not promoting. It's a night. They're not changing. It's fixed. It's represented by Leo. It's a fixed sign. They're not changing. They are who they are. They'll do it again. They just want to see that good side of you again. They will do it again. So, let it go. Hopefully that helps. So, speaking of Leo, we're going to go ahead and get into Leo. Thank you guys for watching. I think you're doing a really good job of doing things for yourself, trying to release it, let it go with this Sun card, because the Sun is a Leo card. I mean, the Sun's a Sun card, but the Sun rules Leo, so whatever. And then this Four of Swords, it's like you're letting go, but then like I just see this as every time you're alone, whenever you're alone with your own thoughts, whenever you're not doing something for yourself, whenever you're not doing something fun, whenever you're not distracting yourself, whatever that means for you, it doesn't have to be with anybody else. It could just be like your creativity. It could be whatever it means for you, going out, partying, staying in, watching movies, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Whenever you're sober, basically, whenever you're sober and alone, basically, whatever this distraction is for you, whenever it's not distracting you, this shit happens. So you could have been dealing with another Leo with the Ace of Cups. That's just water energy. So Pisces, I almost said Taurus. That could mean something just because it was almost a slip of the tongue. But Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. But it's just kind of like this whole. I really feel like saying Gemini too. I don't know why Gemini is coming to mind, but anyway, the sign, your ex is your ex. If this fits, it fits. But I just see this like whenever you're alone, you just kind of really get anxious, and you're just like, okay, I really thought we had something special here. What? And it's just like you keep like beating yourself up mentally. Like you're just like you're really attached to this idea that there was something really special here, and potentially you either want it to grow out of a shitty place, like with that lotus flower. It's just like one of the flowers that like can grow out of mud, if I'm remembering that right. Even if I'm not, that's the thought that's coming to my head, so I'm going with it. It's like you can grow from a dirty place, like a toxic place, a place that needs to heal, basically, like is what I'm getting. Like you either did that with this person or you want to come back together and heal it. I think that you're just really like we had something special. You're having a lot of trouble releasing this. We can heal this again, basically. But then you like, no, I need to release that idea and just do me, like just take care of me. So that's the trouble you're having. So let's go into why you broke up. You may need to remember this. Okay, so we got the Six of Coins, we got the Four of Cups, and we got the Strength reverse. So, Leo, this is kind of where I have to ask you to be honest with yourself, what side of the table you're on. Because there's a Pisces card here. It's actually Neptune, but, that Pisces card. And there's also Strength. So, you could have been dealing with another Leo, but there are two Leo cards on the board here. This could have been you, that it's just kind of like there was an imbalance of like giving, basically. And like I just when I see this, I just feel like the other person's just like, it's so good to receive. Like they adore me and they just keep wanting to give to me, and they just don't really give back. And it kind of made you not see the pain the other person was in, and like they didn't see anything you did for them at one point whenever you would do, because it's just there's this whole like feeling of not reciprocating. So I don't know what side of the board you're on, but it just feels like it ended up being like with the Strength card, you can be powerful yet gentle. With the Strength card reversed, to feel powerful, you needed to attack, basically. So whoever, one, maybe both of you, one or both of you, instead of being powerful and gentle, just knowing, just believing in yourself, having that confidence, it's like you had to tear the other person down. You have to tear the other person down to feel bad. Maybe a lot of criticism. Um, I'm forgetting the other word right now, but basically just tearing the other person down, being like, why the hell would you even do it that way? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you even think, like, you're dumb. Like, you are so dumb. Like, I'm just getting, like, this type of stuff off of this. So, okay, so that makes sense. So it's like, even if you did give back, because of all this attacking, like, it wasn't even felt like genuine, basically. So, whatever side of the table you were on, that if, and like I said, it could have been one or both of you like just attacking each other. I just saw two Leo cards, and I'm like, you could, like, it's time for you to be honest here. Like, you could have had the attitude. You could have been the one, Leo. Or, you also could have been the generous, kind one that was getting attacked. I don't know. It could have been both of you. It could have been both of you. This is a general reading, so who knows? Wherever you land is where you land. I'm just asking you to be honest with yourself about where you land. So anyway, we're going to get advice for if this X that this scenario is fitting with comes back during Mercury retrograde. So you got the Queen of Wands. I've never noticed this red thing on the flower for some reason. And like all that red in this card, like there's a few places. Like her nails are red and like there's red on the wrist. Really stuck out to me. By the way, that's an Aries card. Libra and Aquarius are also in this advice line. But so to that, I was just getting this really passionate vibe here. So with this Four of Wands, you may, like, romantic feelings may return with this type of thing. It may be really fiery, picking up, like, kind of speedy, like, oh my gosh, they're, like, really excited, very passionate type of thing. But then with these two that came out together, you may also just be like, okay, but am I just living in my head? Like, is this real? Or are we just going to end up breaking up again? Like, what? And it's just like you have all this anxiety, but the anxiety is causing you just to live in your own head instead of the moment. So, like, this is kind of a left out in the cold thing, but I kind of feel like you're leaving yourself out in the cold with these thoughts, basically. But so the advice here, basically, I think is like, Leo, you're going to make your own decision anyway, right? Like, no one's going to tell you what to do. We know that's you. We all know that's a Leo thing. Like, fixed signs are all stubborn, and you're going to make your own decision. You're going to do what you're going to do. So I think the cards even knew that, and they knew the best advice for you was just try not to be impulsive with it. Like, there may be a lot of intense feelings that come up here. Don't be impulsive with a decision either way, and try to see the truth of the situation. Have clarity with the situation and not just like the narrative that you make up in your head about the situation, basically. Like, I feel like some of this was missing discussion. So be open and communicate and make your decision based on, the clarification, the truth, the communication. Because like I said, I think you're going to make your own decision anyway, Leo. I can't, I think even the cards came out that way. So anyway, hopefully that helped. And we're going to go on to Virgo. Thank you, Leo, for being here. Have a good night. I've been pulling in like energy of the signs basically, and like getting little spirits of the signs basically. Whenever I'm starting these, and for some reason I just felt like sharing this, and I'm just like, man, Virgo walked in, and they're a lot more flirtatious than I thought they would be. Like, doesn't feel like the Virgo energy I typically know. But I've never dated a Virgo or anything, so I'm just like, okay, Virgo, like, maybe y'all are just in a flirty mood right now. I don't know. but I felt like that was irrelevant somehow. But anyway, I'm going to get into drawing cards for you. What I heard with this is just, oh my God. So you got Judgment, you got the Two of Swords, and you got the Page of Wands. Basically, what I heard for this is you're trying to decide if, like, you actually had a lot of passion for the situation, if it was something just right for the moment, or if it was just another bad decision, like if you were actually wrong, is what I'm hearing on that, like if you made a bad call. You could have been dealing with a fire sign or Scorpio, but so let's get into like remembering why you broke up. Okay, so in the second row we have Pisces, Leo, Earth energy, and then Capricorn specifically. So we have the Page of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Two of Cups reversed, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Hangman, and we have the Queen of Cups reversed. Queen of Pentacles reversed, sorry. So basically what I'm seeing in this is just like somebody really just wanted to focus on themselves. They really just wanted to focus on themselves. They didn't really feel like they had time for this agreement anymore. And like, I keep hearing they kind of lied about all this passion that they had. Either that or this whole thing just needed to focus on themselves was a lie or something, just because like it seems like there's a lie in here somewhere, and part of it's just comes up to they just didn't have the energy to be nurturing anymore. They just didn't want to be nurturing anymore. Like somebody was just taking up too much energy. And I'm sorry if you're not the one that felt that way, and if this is me breaking it to you, but that's what came to my head. Gotta say it. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get advice in case this X comes back. I only got 2 cards for advice, but I think it's all I really need. Again, you could have been dealing with an air sign with this Ace of Swords, but basically I think you just need to really clarify for yourself how you felt. I think you're the one who really just didn't have energy or nurturing for the situation. You got to remember either that, or you just got to remember how draining the situation was for you, how much work had to be put into this situation, and was it worth it? Because I kind of feel like you'd rather be alone than put this much work into someone else. You'd rather just be doing things by yourself. Like this person, we all have different needs for attention and all that, and I feel like this person was too needy for you, basically. So, yeah, consider that. Like, because I kind of feel like if you're honest with yourself, they're too much for you. Like, you need like a lower maintenance relationship, basically, where you can do your own thing. There's something about this where they're too high maintenance for you. It may not be the amount of time spent together. It may just be like the amount of attention you have to give. I don't know. Something along those lines. Hopefully it makes sense to you. So anyway, that's your reading. Hopefully it helps. You guys have a good night. We're going to go ahead and go on to Libra now. Okay, Libra. So basically, we got the Three of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Devil. So you could have been dealing with a Capricorn. And we have the Nine of Cups for that first question. Why do you miss or are having trouble letting go of your ex? Or why are you having trouble letting go of your ex? So anyway, I think basically you're still hung up. What's really still piercing your heart, what's still breaking you is like, I feel like you don't think you were good enough, basically. You're wondering why you weren't good enough. It's really the thought process that's coming in. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, you're really blaming yourself for this for some reason. And I think you really romanticize the relationship to the point of, like, you don't really see what it truly was. Like, maybe you were a little codependent. Maybe you over-relied on this person for happiness, for joy, because, like, you're not really finding it on your own. You're not really emotionally stable by yourself. because you keep going back to what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I good enough? Type of thing. Sometimes things just don't work out. It's nothing about you. It's just things don't work out. You know, we all need to heal our trauma. I think therapy is good for everybody. Like, you know, but you may need to ask yourself why you're acting a certain way and sometimes and heal that, but it's not necessarily like you have to beat yourself up every time someone doesn't like you. Like I've noticed that in Libras, like everyone has to like them or they think something's wrong with them. So it's just kind of like, why aren't they in love with me anymore? Like it's killing me basically. So we're going to go with why did you break up? Okay, so I think the reason why we got the Death card could have been dealing with a Scorpio. So Three of Cups, the Two of Coins, Two of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. So basically what I see here is while one person was celebrating, the other person was wondering, okay, what exactly are we? And just not really committing and stepping forward because they didn't really know where it was going. So it's just like, it's kind of like celebrating something that didn't really exist and maybe not really wanting to commit, but also wanting to celebrate. But then the other person's just like, okay, what are we? And it's like, I don't know. What are we? I don't know. Why don't you know? Like, it's just this whole debate on like, why can't we just like flow and see where it goes? And it's just like, well, I want to know. You know, they like one person wanted stability, the other person was kind of like, we'll get there when we get there, kind of thing. So I feel like that's what released it because one person got anxious whenever they felt like they weren't sure if they wanted that like foundation yet. The other person's like we're seeing each other, we're dating, like we already have a foundation. It's time to start building. Like you guys had a conflict with views, basically, like your view on the relationship, on how dating works, basically. Like you didn't even want to start building until you knew that you liked this person and all that. And this person's like, let's build it and see if it's sturdy or not, kind of thing. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get advice for if they come back. It's gonna sound harsh, but like the Nine of Pentacles with the Seven of Cups, I feel like the only reason why they would come back is none of their other options are working out. Basically, with this Judgment, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Wands reversed, I don't think this is solid at all, and I think it's kind of time to more release this, to decide to release this, to feel better, and to figure out what you really want, because like I said in this, like there was just headbutting on what should happen, so it's like, let's do some searching, like, let's figure out what I want, let's make me happy for the time being. Like, this doesn't look good at all, basically. Like, I think they only want an option. Like, this has, like, I'm lonely energy. So, could be I think Scorpio came up twice, so heavy Scorpio energy. Could be dealing with Scorpio. Also could be dealing with a Taurus. Doesn't have to be, but, yeah, it is what it is. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have a good night. We're going to move on to Scorpio. Oh, didn't pause. Okay, I haven't pulled any cards yet for Scorpio, but I'm just asking a question like, what you going to do if your ex comes back? Why do you miss them? Having trouble letting go? And I think there's a lot of anger and resentment here because the phrase I heard was, fuck my ex, let him rot. So let's draw some cards. Like I said, resentment. So I feel like I'm bringing right to left. So with this going, the Ace of Swords going into the Eight of Swords, going into the Six of Swords, like this is weighing heavily on your mind. And it's just like, I knew you were trouble from the minute I met you. For some reason, you got me. And maybe they were physically attractive and they got you with looks, because that kind of popped in my head. But It's just like I knew you were trouble, but you know what? I denied it. I never denied it, but for you, for some reason, I denied it. And now look, you're just going away, and I can't stop thinking about you and like checking up on you, and I'm obsessive. But like, look, I already knew you were trouble, and I didn't listen for some reason. Why didn't I listen? Like, there's just a lot of anger built up here. So let's get into the why the breakup type of thing. I forgot to say this, but there's a lot of air energy on the board, so could have been an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. Oop. Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Knight. No, wait, this page, sorry. They don't have the words, they have like little symbols, so I thought that was a 9, but I'm pretty sure this is a page of Pentacles. So earth energy, but doesn't have to be. But basically what I'm saying is one person really just, they were really lost in thought, one or both of you, where it's just like you really didn't know if you should just hold back or give, hold back or put in, hold back or put this work into the relationship. And it's like this real, is it worth it? Should I try? Should I do this, or should I just keep everything to myself type of energy? And it just ended up being like, this type of energy just ended up being too much, and I think they had to leave. It's probably them that felt this way, like for some reason feeling like, okay, can I say this? Can I not say this? Can I say this? Can I not say this? Why did they feel that way? I'm hearing you ask that, so let's read. We got the Tower for why. This is Mars energy, so Aries and Scorpio, your energy, basically. And what I'm getting is basically like their perception, whether it's true or not, they perceive the situation as if they, like you were just ready to fight, basically. If they wanted to offer something more or reveal some of the feelings, it would just lead to a fight, basically. If they wanted to give you this message, if they wanted to build something more, if that, whatever this message was, it would just lead to a fight. So hold back. Like, it just has this, they had a perception of you of just like a person whose like guard is always up and they're ready to throw. They're ready to throw down and they will swing. So that, whether that's you or not, I'm saying that is how they perceived you. So advice in case they come back. They could have just been intimidated by your energy for some of you. I heard that in my head, intimidated by energy. This actually could have been, you could have been a high-strung person ready to fight, like ready to throw down, like easily offended. Own it if that's what it is. Like, if that's you, right? So let's get into advice. So I think the advice is basically needing to change your perception of the relationship, because it really feels like with this Ten of Cups, Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles, it really feels like you're really feeling like the victim in this, especially with this Four of Cups following, where it's like, how dare they do me dirty? They didn't do anything, and I did everything. And it's like you're just really not appreciating their efforts, whatever they brought to the table with them at all. And it's like everyone brings something to the table. Come on. Like, they did something for you. Why else would you have been there? And it's like you're just not appreciating them at all, and it's just kind of this view of like, I did it all, I was amazing, like, and you just continue to put them down. I feel like that mindset needs to change, and you should appreciate what they did. And that may not be easy, especially when you feel very wrong, but just show that appreciation. You don't even have to tell them, but just be appreciative for what they did. And with this Death card, Scorpio energy again, it's really time. I think this is just letting it go. This could always be like just talking about changing this mindset, but with the Death card and the Tower card both in this spread, I don't think this is meant to come back together at all. If your ex does come back, I think it's maybe some communication and trying to understand like what they did for you, basically. and not just putting yourself on that pedestal like I was so much better, like, and understanding that there was love there and trying to release some of that anger. But I don't think this is meant to go anywhere, especially, like I said, there's a death and a tower card. Like, no. No. Best case scenario, you transform with it, but I don't see it. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Hopefully this reading helped. Have a good night. And we're going to go ahead and go on to Sagittarius next. Okay, Sagittarius, you could have been dealing with the Pisces with the moon card here. So we got the moon, we have the Eight of Swords, we have the Nine of Wands, we have the Seven of Cups, and we have the Four of Swords. So basically, I think your emotions shift from day to day with this relationship, basically. And the thing is, sometimes you can just get really lost in your head, and you'll just be like, I really did enjoy the time with them. Like, you're really fantasizing and like up. How am I trying to say this? Like, you're really bringing up the experience basically that you had with them, putting it on a pedestal. Basically, like you're seeing the past in rose-colored glasses, I guess. Would be a good way to say it. I'm getting tripped up on how to say it. I think you get the point, right? So basically, it's just like, should I have left? Did I really need to leave that? Because, man, I had a lot of fun there. Like, it was a lot of fun. Like, I kind of want to see them again. I kind of want to adventure with them again. Kind of want to, like, was it that bad? Like, it's just kind of, you get lost in your own little fantasy, and sometimes you're just like, meh, like, I don't need that. I think you released them to the point where, like, you released all the negative things that happened to the point where you're just, all you remember is the positive now. So let's go ahead and get into the why did you break up. You may need to remember this because they may not need to come back. Yeah, I also just heard these streets are cold, so maybe you just need like some old comforts. Anyway, let me draw some cards. Sagittarius, I kind of feel like you're the one that left. Or you may have been dealing with another Sagittarius, because we do have Pisces, Sagittarius, Aquarius on the board, but I kind of feel like you're the one that left, because I just hear this whole like blunt speech of like, okay, I'm not lying to you. You can know that that last conversation was true. The breakup conversation was true. It's like, as good as this is, like, kind of cheesy, like as good as it is, and we don't know where this is supposed to be. Maybe we'll end up together again, type of thing. And it's just like, this is wonderful, and maybe I'm missing out on something good. Being in a relationship is a lot, and I just feel like I'm missing out on something. Like, I need to go see the world. Like, I need to go adventure. I know, like, Sagittarius stereotypes, right? Like, adventuring out, like, going, doing fun things and all that. But the Fool is here. Like, that's going out, like, having fun, like, having new adventures, basically. So I kind of feel like this conversation came up, and just to know it wasn't a lie, but, like, really remembering, like, relationships are kind of a burden for someone who just wants to constantly do something. Maybe this person didn't match your energy in that regard. Maybe that's why it was so much work. There was some sort of burden placed, like a lot of hard work. Maybe it was just you, like, not really wanting to be in the relationship, but liking them, like kind of wanting to go do your own thing, basically. But and this could always be reversed, but I was just kind of like, this seems like a Sagittarius thing to say. Anyway, we're going to get advice. So we got Aquarius again in the bottom row. And we also got Cancer. So anyway, we got the Seven of Swords. I keep saying the wrong ones. Seven of Wands, Two of Swords. We have the Star. Yes, this deck has 2 star cards. The Ten of Pentacles. And then we have the Six of Swords and the Chariot. So basically, I see this as there's a reason whoever walked away walked away. There is a reason, and it just kind of feels like these four cards together are just saying like there's a jealousy of like there's an appreciation of the other person. Like you know they can get options, or they know you can get options, whoever they want. You know, like there would have to be like a little battle of who would get this person, like because of how good they are, basically. So you do either you see them in a high regard or they see you in a high regard, whoever's having these type of feelings. So I kind of feel like there's almost like a competition or a jealousy aspect to this, maybe even a possessive aspect to this, more than a loving aspect to this. Because with these two cards, it just really feels like there's a reason that they left or that you left. Stay gone. You know what I mean? That's basically what I'm getting off of this. Like, and this card just drew my eyes again. Like, it's just gonna pile up again. Whoever it piled up for, it's gonna pile up again. It's gonna end up being too much again, and it's just, it is what it is. You know? Maybe something you want to revisit, but it's not something. Is it worth revisiting? Doesn't really seem like it. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good night, and we're going to get on to Capricorn. Capricorn. Sorry. You could have been dealing with, or you could have these in your chart, Pisces, Scorpio, or Leo. We have the Strength card. I don't know how well you can see that. We have the Death card. We have the Well. And we have the Hangman. So basically, I just see this as like you have it in your head for some reason. Like you have this confidence, maybe a false sense of confidence with that Hangman being a Neptunian card, and that being kind of like an illusion, planet and stuff. Like you may have a false sense of confidence here, thinking that like, oh, they want me back. Like, no, it's okay. Like, yeah, we're just gonna grow again out of all this pain. Like, not you watch and see. Watch and see. They want me back. They want me back. So you kind of have this attitude going on, like, nah, I can get them back anytime I want. They're coming back. I know they are. So let's get into why you broke up. As I was shuffling, I kept hearing cheated. Like, that may not apply to everybody. I feel like you would know that if that was a reason why there was a breakup. Um, so don't, like, freak out if you don't know that, okay? So, but maybe you just need a reminder, like either you or they did. That, like I said, that may not apply to everybody, and I feel like that would be known if you did. But for the most part, like we got the Four of Pentacles, we got the Page of Wands, we have the Emperor, Aries energy, we have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Wands, Aries energy again. So you could have been dealing with an Aries, or you could have it in your chart. But I just see this as like you really wanted to prep yourself, or maybe the other person, before really expressing the emotions. Like you wanted to be comfortable before really opening up and really giving to the other person, really just letting loose and letting them know exactly how intense you felt for this person. Like you didn't want to just come out with it, but, or and this also could have been how they felt. I feel like this holding back, though, since this is what I'm getting for why you broke up, this must have been like the other person, whoever was holding back, one person was holding back and the other person saw it as, you're not interested. Okay, I get you. Is basically what I'm getting, because one person had a lot of passion and just really intense feelings that they were holding back because they were just like, oh shoot, like do I really want to, is this really, do I want that, do I want to do all this, so do I want to say all this, like I need to make sure like ABC happens before I release these floodgates, basically. So anyway, we're going to get into advice in case they come back. So in the advice, we have the Ten of Cups. We have the Ten of Wands. We have the Fool. So we have Aquarius energy down here. We have the Page of Pentacles, which is, that's just like Earth energy in general. And we have the, if I can pick it up, we have the Three of Cups. Basically what I'm getting here is like, because of this energy here, that needs to be corrected. Like, if we're going to have this emotional fulfillment here, whoever had this like fear, whoever didn't want to open the floodgates, as I was saying earlier, needs to like decide, like, is it worth it? Is it worth opening up? Because that needs to change. That needs to change. Like, this is a new chapter, basically. If you come back together, it's a different act. It's a different chapter. You're acting different. No more holding back. Like, this is how the other person needs to act, or this is how you need to act. Because this was the problem here. Like, it kind of feels like there's potential here, honestly. Like, usually, I usually have the belief that an X is an X for a reason. But maybe one person just held back too much and the other person got impatient. That could have happened. And was like, I don't have time for games. Okay, bye. You know, maybe this could have been a misunderstanding. Like I said in the beginning of the video, every now and then, there is somebody, there are people that make it work whenever they get back together. I've seen it happen every now and then, but it's not without change. So, if this is you, come together. This is a new chapter. Come right. If it's the other person, they need to come right, and you don't need to accept it unless they come right. You know what I mean? Because this, we need to actually see that this has potential, that this is something that can last. And if that's going to be something like, we need to know how, we need to know this appreciation. We need to actually share this feeling here. We actually need to know how we feel and how we appreciate each other and all that. That needs to be said. Needs to be in this place of celebrating each other, not fear that you're going to say too much and they're going to leave. There has to be changes here. There has to be changes if this is going to work. I think there was one, like maybe Leo, that I was like, you're going to make up your own mind, so here's advice. But I don't know if this was if I've had any of these readings that were actually like, there may be potential here in this. So, I mean, good for you, but you got work to do if you want it. Like, you have to do the work, basically, if you want it, is what I'm getting at. You can't come with the same energy you had, or they can't come with the same energy they had if this is going to work. Basically, is what I'm getting. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on to Aquarius. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it helps. And thank you. Have a good night. That's what I was going to say. And thank you guys one more time. So anyway, on to Aquarius. Aquarius. You could have been dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, air sign, or fire sign. But it's funny. Like, the High Priestess came out, and I was really getting that intuitive hit thing. So I'm like, what's the intuitive hit about? And we got the Ace of Wands. And I swear I heard, like, you know, what was it? What exactly was it? It was like, you know that the sex was probably some of the best sex you're ever going to have. Like, it was something about how passionate you were. Like, yeah, that's what I heard. Sorry if anyone's, like, wanting PG, but that's what I heard. So anyway, we also got the Two of Wands. We got the Ace of Swords. And we got the moon. So basically, I just feel like your emotions are all over the place with this relationship, with how you feel about this person, and you're kind of wanting clarity on it. It's like, how do I feel? Because one day I'm still daydreaming about them. I'm daydreaming about the plans I used to have with them. I'm daydreaming about the travels we used to do, the things we used to do together, all the romance we used to have, like how excited I used to be to see them, like all these memories I have, and other days I'm just like I don't care about them at all, like, or I'm mad at them, or something like that. So um, I was gonna get into a why did you break up reminder, but also I don't know that you know how you feel, so I think I'm gonna do an additional how do you feel, Aquarius. With this Emperor card I just heard, I know what I like. So, but with this nine, you got the nine of swords, you got the lovers, you got the Hierophant, and you got the three of cups. So this relationship must have been at least a significant one with this lineup here. And like I said, there's just like this, I know what this I want. And like there's this whole, you're feeling a little shy about wanting to celebrate it. And it's because you feel a little anxious about this connection. You still feel attached to it, but you're just like, oh, I don't know about this. But you still feel really attached to it. Like that, you still feel a connection with them. You still really have them on your mind. And even though I don't know why I'm thinking about this guy from TikTok, and he does like astrology things, like, but he does like little jokes about them. And he's like, "You're so open minded, you would get back with your ex because you didn't see the problem." And it's just like you do have like this open mind of like, okay, well maybe we could get back together, maybe we could work on it, maybe we could, because like I still have these feelings, and yes, Aquarius does have feelings. Y'all don't have to act like you don't. We know you do. Um, and it's just kind of like, do I actually want this? But it's like it still makes you really nervous. But you're also like, I like what I like. I know what I like, and you really like this ex, whoever's really on your mind with this type of energy. Now, signs so far I did say earlier, like fire, air, Cancer, Pisces, but now on this row we have Gemini, Taurus, and Aries. So anyway, we're gonna go into why you broke up. Okay, so with this lineup, I kind of feel like something was said or done. There's just like this impulsive dispute here that never really got resolved. It's like out of sight, out of mind, and I can just let it go. But you really didn't let it go. Um, you kind of just distracted yourself with like work or working on something else or doing something else, or let's put work into the relationship in different ways. Like we'll build it up in different ways, but we'll just not talk about this. But then, like with this Page of Cups, I just keep hearing, like, do you even like me? Do you even love me? Like, what the fuck? Like, you built up this resentment. So, in this one, we have Pisces again, but that is really a Neptune card with this Hangman energy. We have you, Aquarius, with the Knight of Swords. We have the Four of Swords, we have the Eight of Coins, and we have the Page of Cups, which is just water energy. But, so let's see. Next, we're going to get into advice for if this ex came back. But like I said, I kind of feel like something just some sort of dispute, some sort of impulsive conversation, argument, action, just never really got resolved, and it's just kind of like you ignored it to the point of blowing up. Basically, one of you did. Now, with Aquarius leading this, I put it on you, but it could have been the other person. Take what resonates, okay? But let's get into advice for if this ex comes back. We got another, like, potentially getting back with your ex. This may just be changing your ways, though, but the Tower ended up coming out reversed. We also have the Death card, though. So I kind of kept drawing cards, and I'm like, I'm not entirely sure if this is saying you don't or not get back with your ex, because the Death could be just because. Okay, let me just go through it. With the Four of Wands, with the Seven of Swords, And then getting into the Two of Coins and the Queen of Pentacles, I was just like, okay, so basically there's a need to let go of old habits, like this whole habit of like acting like everything's okay, and just like that's a deception in itself. That's a lie in itself. Like you may not be putting that issue out there, but it is a deception because like you may be acting romantic again, just trying to like have the good side of the relationship, but you're building up resentment and you're not really building up this nurturing environment that at least as nurturing as it could be. Like it's just kind of false. It's fake. You know what I mean? So there is this. I was kind of like, okay, so it's a release of this, and then like the next card was just like this Five of Cups reversed, and what I saw with this is just like instead of just being sad pouting in the corner, like clean up the mess. Work on it. Like don't let it just sit there. Don't let it just fester up. You know what I mean? So, and then we get the Tower reverse. So it's like if you actually want this to come back together, or if you just want to be in a healthy relationship, basically don't do that stuff. But it's just kind of like be consistent, loving, nurturing, and kind with this King of Pentacles. You have to build your happiness. It just doesn't come to you. You know what I mean? It's kind of what I was feeling like. There's gonna be days where you two upset each other. That's where communication comes in. Like you both have to you both have to participate in this growth or it doesn't grow. You don't get to just act romantic and sweep things under the rug and hope like no one ever notices. No, that shit builds up and then eventually you explode. So if it's with this person or even another person, I feel like this is good advice in general. Like things need to be talked about. Like stop acting like it's okay when it's not. Okay, so signs on this side of the board: Scorpio and Aries, Virgo, Leo, and Capricorn. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great night, and we're gonna move on to Pisces. Oh, Pisces, you little daydreamer. So why do you miss your ex, or why are you having trouble letting go? So we got the Knight of Swords, we got the the Hierophant, we got the Fool, you damn fools, and we got the World reversed. You basically don't want to start this new chapter in your life. You're just like, you just keep daydreaming about how nice it was to be with them, how nice it would be to take it to the next level, like just being with them, how you're really reminiscing on the good times, and that's really all you're focused on, basically. So we're going to have to look into why did you break up. You might need a reminder here. You could have been dealing with an Aquarius, Taurus, or Capricorn, just based on cards out here. So, yeah, let's get into why did you break up. This hurt my throat to look at this card, this Three of Wands. So I feel like some person was really aggressive. One person just yelled a lot. Like, you guys fought a lot. And it really made you withdraw. I'm seeing this as you with this Moon card. Because, I mean, that is the Pisces card. But it really made you withdraw. And it's just like, there was no other choice but to let this tower crumple and to move forward, just to move on. Because, like, this person just needed, really what they needed was to isolate themselves and to figure out their own shit. Because there was some anger issues, there was something going on with this that they just could not control themselves, and they just kept lashing out at you, and that was not fair to you. So this could be you as a Pisces, or you could have been dealing with another Pisces. Scorpio and Aries are also on the board. We got Cancer, and we have Virgo. I feel like I'm hearing, okay, why were they so angry though? That's what I really want to know. So fine, we'll expand on that just for you, Pisces. So with the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Devil, could have been dealing with another water sign, or you could have been dealing with a Capricorn again. But basically, one of you was codependent and really reliant on someone else for their emotional state. It honestly could have been both of you, but it's just like I kind of feel like it may have been you though, because that Eight of Cups just really feels like it took a lot of strength to just like try to be like your rock, to try to be your emotional stability when you couldn't be your own. If this is reversed, it's reversed. But maybe they felt like maybe you withdrew a little bit because you couldn't keep being their rock, and then they got angry because you weren't being as solid as you used to be, which, this is like a codependent, like, you need to be responsible for your own emotional state. It's nice to have support, but you don't have to, like, get mad at someone else for not making you feel good. Like, you know, in charge of your emotions. You don't need to be mad at someone else because you're sad, basically, and they're not, like, healing you. That's a lot to put on one person. Um, you're supposed to be in charge of your own thing. So however that resonates, that's basically what I got for like the anger here. So advice in case they come back. It's weird. Like all you winter season signs are getting. Basically, it depends. It depends on what state they're coming at you in. Are they coming in this same state of drained? I need someone to help me state, because that shit's just gonna go wrong, and goodbye. Like this Wheel of Fortune, like things could either go good or bad, like depending on it. And it's just like, did they heal? Are they going to be fair this time? Are they responsible for their own actions and emotion? Are they going to come correct? I'm hearing like, is there an apology and change behavior? Do they see you and appreciate you? Or do they just drain you and take? Do they actually give too? Is this like a partnership, or are they just like, you need to nurse me back to health and drain the hell out of you? Like, what is this? Basically, depends on how this goes. So, you could be dealing with someone with Libra, Sagittarius, or Pisces in their chart. Um, or that could be you. You could have those. Doesn't have to be, just saying the cards. So, fun how this. I hate ending this on it. It could go good or bad, but that's how the card said. Like, I'm just hearing draw one more card. Let's see. What's one more card? One more card. Come on. If you don't hurry up, I'm going to have to pause so that I don't have to sit here and watch me shuffle. Okay, there we go. Where'd it go? So we got the Star. That's an Aquarius card. Yeah. It really just depends on if they can regulate their own emotions or not. If they are in an healthy emotional state, that's really how this would go. Because if they can, this may actually end up being something worth manifesting. Like with this star, with the falling star, like wishing on that falling star, this may actually be at least worth exploring, if nothing else. Like, these readings have been weird because I'm usually an X is an X for a reason person, but these cards are telling me like it really just depends. Are they emotionally stable? That's what you're gonna have to see. Or are you emotionally stable? That also that's also a big one. So hopefully this helps. Sorry I'm having to leave you on a like it depends type of thing, but hopefully you enjoyed the reading, and thank you guys for watching. Have a great night.